Hope you're all right at home and working hard. Thank you for sending in your posts the last couple of days. Enjoyed seeing your photographs, Jonah, and also Caden. Well done, boys. Keep it up. Right, we're going to find out what happened in Danny, the Champion of the World today. And we've got to chapter 19, Rock-a-Bye Baby. At 8:30 the next morning, my father went into the workshop and dialed Doc Spencer's number on the telephone. Now listen, Doc, he said. If you could be here at the filling station in about half an hour, I think I might have a little surprise present for you. The doctor said something in reply, and my father replaced the receiver on the phone. At 9 o'clock, Doc Spencer arrived in his car. My father went over to him, and the two of them held a whispering conversation behind the petrol pumps. Suddenly, the tiny doctor clapped his hands together and sprang up high in the air, hooting with laughter. You don't mean it, he cried. It's not possible. Then he ran over to see me and grasped my hand in his. I do congratulate you, my dear boy, he said, pumping my hand up and down so fiercely it nearly fell off. What a triumph, what a miracle, what a victory. Now, why on earth didn't I think of that method myself? You are a genius, Danny. Hail to thee, dear Danny. You are the champion of the world. Here she comes, my father called, pointing down the road. Here she comes, Doctor. Here who comes? The doctor said. Mrs. Clipstone. He spoke the name proudly, as though he were a commander referring to his bravest officer. The three of us stood together beside the pumps, looking down the road. Can't you see her? My father asked. Far away, in the distance, I could just make out a small figure coming towards us. What's she pushing, Dad? My father gave me a sly look. There is the doc, Danny and his dad, looking down the lane, standing next to one of those petrol pumps. There's only one way of delivering the pheasant safely, he said, and that's under a baby. Isn't that right, Doc? Under a baby, Doc Spencer asked. Of course, a pram with the baby on top. Fantastic, smiled the doctor. My old dad thought that one up many years ago, my father said, and it's never been known to fail yet. It's brilliant, Doc Spencer says. Only a brilliant mind could think of a brilliant plan like that. He was a brilliant man, my father said. Can you see her now, Doc? And that'll be young Christopher Clipstone sitting up in the pram. He's 1.5, a lovely child. Oh, yes, I birthed him, said Doc Spencer. He weighed 8 pounds 3 ounces. I could just make out the small dot of a baby sitting up high in the pram, which had its hood folded down. There's more than 100 pheasants under that little nipper, my father said happily. Just imagine it. You can't put 100 pheasants in a child's pram, the doc said. Don't be ridiculous. You can if it's been specially made for the job, my father said. This one is built extra long and extra wide, and it's got an extra deep well underneath. Listen, you could push a cow around in there if you wanted to, let alone 100 pheasants and a baby. It's got that much room. Did you make it yourself, Dad? I asked. More or less, Danny. You remember when I walked you to school and then went off to buy the raisins? The day before yesterday, I asked. Yes, and after that I went straight on to the vicarage and converted their pram into this special extra large poacher's model. It's a beauty, it really is. You wait till you see it. Mrs. Clipstone says it pushes even easier than her ordinary one. She did a practice circuit with it in her backyard as soon as I'd finished. Fantastic, the doc said again. Absolutely fantastic. Normally, my father went on, an ordinary bought pram is all you'd ever need. But then, no one's ever tried to get 100 pheasants before, have they? Where does the baby sit? The doctor asked. On top of course, my father said. All you need is a sheet to cover them up, and the baby sits on the sheet. A bunch of pheasants makes a nice soft mattress for any child. I don't doubt it, Doc Spencer said. He'll be having a very comfortable ride today, young Christopher, my father said. We stood beside the pumps waiting for Mrs. Clipstone to arrive. It was the 1st of autumn, 1st of October, and one of those warm, windless autumn mornings with a darkening sky and a smell of thunder in the air. What was so marvellous about my father, I thought, was the way he always surprised you. It was impossible to be with him for long without being surprised and astonished by one thing or another. He was like a conjurer bringing things out of a hat. Right now it was a pram and a baby. In a few minutes it would be something else again. You could be sure of that. Right, through the village, bold as brass, my father said. Good for her. Here she is. And there is Mrs. Clipstone with the pram, which has been made extra deep. And this is Danny's dad looking at it now. You'll see. And there we're going to have to stop because it's time for us to go home. Yeah. So all of you who are at home, we look forward to seeing you again, not tomorrow, but on Thursday. Bye. Bye. Bye.